What should I include in my emails? That's what I'll be talking about in this episode.
Welcome to the Everything Email Podcast with Ken Countess. Ken is a world-renowned email marketing expert. He'll help you 10x your business with email strategies that generate more sales. And now, here's Ken Countess.
Hey, welcome to episode 81 of the Everything Email Podcast. I'm Ken Countess. Over these 3 episodes, 80, 81, and 82, I'm answering questions that came up over the webinars that I did a couple of weeks ago where we had 300 people attending. There are certain questions that seem to come up all the time. So I'm using episodes 80, 81, and 82 to answer 3 of the most frequently asked questions. So last week in episode 80, the question was, how often should I send emails? And if you missed that one, just go back wherever you found this episode and go back and look for episode 80. In this episode, number 81, the question is, what should I include in my emails? Again, this is something so many people ask me, and they tend to get hung up on it. And what I say to people is, look, don't overthink this. Don't spend a lot of time writing emails that people tend to spend just a few seconds, maybe at most a minute on, because let's face it, people are busy, or at least they think they're busy, and they try to go from email to email to email and then get back on the normal course of what they were going to do for the day. So here's what you need to include in your emails. First, they should aim to provide value to your subscribers. Now, this can be achieved by offering exclusive promotions. You'll hear one at the end of this episode. Sharing industry news and insights. Providing helpful tips and advice. But be sure, no matter what you do, be sure to include a clear call to action, something for them to click on or do to encourage engagement and conversations. All right, let's get a little bit more specific. Writing effective emails is an important skill for both personal and professional communication. And once again, don't get too hung up in all of this. Here are some tips to help you create clear, concise emails, emphasis on concise, that get your message across. Number 1, keep it brief and to the point. Stick to the main topic. Avoid rambling or going off on tangents. Remember, your reader is only going to spend a very short amount of time reading your email, so if you're off on tangents, you're going to lose their attention and they're going to move on. Number 2, use a clear and descriptive subject line that summarizes the content of your email in just a couple of words. Here's another good tip for you. Start with a greeting, hi or hello, and address the recipient by name if possible. Personalization is key to getting people more engaged with your content. Number 4, use proper grammar and spelling, and avoid using all caps or excessive exclamation points. Number 5, break up long paragraphs into smaller ones. That'll make your email easier to read. Number 6, have a call to action, a link to something. You can even use an attachment in some email marketing services, and make sure they're labeled clearly. Click here to download the article, maybe one way to do it. And lastly, end with a polite closing. Thanks or best regards, and include your name and contact information. The reason that I say include your name and contact information, even though it should be in your from name when you're sending the email, you want to make it easy for people to connect with you, to reply, to give you a call, send you an email, or what have you. Okay, so those are the tips you need to know in terms of what you should include in your emails. In next week's episode, which will be number 82, I'll talk about how you can improve your email open rates. Hey, that's it for this week. Make sure that you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Everything Email Podcast with Ken Countess. If you like the podcast, tell your friends and coworkers about it. Be sure to visit kenisemail.com to sign up for Ken's mailing list. You'll get great marketing tips every week in your inbox. Have questions? Send Ken an email. It's Ken at kenisemail.com. See you next time.